Texans top draft pick Kamari Lassiter speaks, says something crazy. Was he telling the truth or is he already trolling us? Plus, how does he fit in? And what is the craziest dialogue about him that needs to be looked at closely? Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we
Kamari Lassiter meets with the media and says something interesting. Was he telling the truth? Let's get into that. The rookies, the Texans rookies were on the field. By the way, it is a locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, and the Odyssey app. I love every step of the process of the football season. I'm looking forward to the schedule being released. I like mini camps. I like every single press conference. It is a year-round sport, which is why we're lucky enough to do what we do and interact the way that we do. Be sure to subscribe, like, ride along, comment, and we'll have some fun here hearing from one of the Texans' top picks and the first pick that they made, Kamari Lassiter. He's got a nice presence about him. How does he fit in? Is he going to be a number 2 corner? Is he going to be an inside? Is he going to be an outside? Is he fast enough? There's a lot of questions. There is some dialogue that I think needs to be kind of needs to meet in the middle when it comes to the way in which people are talking about Kamari Lassiter and what his impact is going to be or contribution to the Texans, both short and long term. But let's just get into it right off the top. Here is Kamari Lassiter meeting with the media, and he starts by talking about the weather.
Georgia Heat's what was the humidity like for the first time stepping out in Texas today?
Man, so I looked at the weather before I got out of practice. It just said 80 degrees. So I was like, okay, bet it's only 80. And I walked out on the field and I was practicing. I'm like, this is not 80. Like this is like 90, something else. So it's a little bit different.
It's a lot different. If you thought that was not 80, then it's going to be really interesting to see. And I always do think it's funny when you're at training camp and you talk to these guys and you see these guys, their first taste of the Texas heat. Eventually, it grows on you. It's not like it's someone coming from up north, but it is definitely different. Here's Lassiter on the upbringing that he had at Georgia and some of his coaches.
All right, what do you remember about playing under your DB coach in Georgia, Coach Brown? Like, how much do you credit his success to him?
Coach Friend was a very influential coach for me. I would say, he really challenged me on and off the field to become a better man, a better football player, and he really pushed me to my limits. I would say whenever he came in, he just really, just worked with me, just challenged me every day. And, he just, we set out, goals for each other. And, his goal was, become a head coach sometime. And my goal was, get drafted. And we just kind of just worked with each other. And we were able to accomplish those goals.
What is your goal for your rookie season? What would you like to show everybody that you're all about?
Man, I just want to show them, everyone, I want to earn the respect of my teammates, my coaches. I just want to come in here and, just do whatever I can to help the team. I want to help us be successful. And whatever that is, I'm going to do it.
It's very easy to see, right? Why they like him. Just kind of his look at how he's like studying the media too. Look at that face right there. This is an intense dude. And you've heard Casario, D'Amico talk about the makeup, but he's ready to go. Here's more with Kamari Lassiter. That should be a meme right there.
Have any conversations with Derek, Jalen, Jimmy, anybody in the defensive backroom since being drafted yet?
I talked to Sting whenever I first got drafted. I just got in yesterday, so a lot of those guys were kind of getting out whenever I was coming in. But I'm trying to chop it up with those guys real soon. He was just like, let's get to work.
Nico mentioned that he likes the fact that you and Kalen have the ability to play multiple positions. What do you think about potentially playing outside or inside?
I play football. I play defense. Wherever they put me at, it don't matter.
Okay.
I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
Why do you think that you're suited to be able to do all of that?
I just think it's, some of the things that was instilled in me in a young age, just the best ability is availability. So just being able to kind of be versatile and just do whatever the team needs you to do.
From your time in the pre-draft process, meeting with D'Amico to today, actually, working with him a little bit on the field and in classrooms, what would be your early impressions of kind of like the coach that he is?
I think Coach Ryans is just, a really good guy. You can really tell that he loves what he does. You can tell his passion for the game, his passion for his players, and his passion for his team. So, that's somebody who I love to play for.
You come from a high culture program into this one. What have you learned in these early days about the culture that's in place already under D'Amico?
This is a high culture program as well. The standard is the standard here. You got a bunch of guys who want to get better, a bunch of guys who have the right mentality, the right mindset, and a group of guys who just really want to win.
If I can take you back to your to the draft night, a lot of people don't realize how far you have come with your family as far as the sacrifice and stuff that your mom made. And I know that your coach said that when you told your story during the meeting that it broke him up. Coach Smart said it kind of made him emotional. You wore the K3. Do you plan on wearing the K3 on your towel here for your mom, your mom, and your dad?
Of course. My nickname's K3. All my guys call me that. My family even started calling me that very recently. Growing up, my nickname was Mari. I was always Lil Mari. But now my family just kind of started calling me K3. They call my mom K1, my pops K2, and I'm K3. So that's always going to be with me. So, yeah.
Did you, going back to that night, how emotional was it for you just to know how much your family had sacrificed to where you were, to being drafted?
It was just a wave of emotions. You dream of getting drafted, and then whenever it actually happens, you don't really know what to do in that moment because it's never happened before. So just seeing the look on everyone's faces, it was just something that I'll never forget in my life. Just seeing how happy my mom and my grandma were because they were sitting right beside me, just seeing all my family behind me and everyone just cheering. And whenever you see the pictures, you can really see everything. So just looking at the pictures, man, it almost brings tears to my eyes every time.
What has this process been like for you from draft night to this point? What's this process, the steps? What has it been like for you?
Look at the studying again, man. He's studying.
I would say it's been fun. Just taking it all in day by day, just really trying to put my best foot forward every day, just trying to, come in and just get 1% better every day, just learn something new every day, just soak up a little bit of knowledge. So I just say it's been a good ride and it's just getting started.
You kind of brought up a second ago the culture that was established in Georgia when the culture here as well. With D'Amico going to Alabama, you going to Georgia, what were some similarities that you noticed between him and Coach Smart and what they preach?
Coach went to Bama.
Yeah.
I don't think he's serious here. This is the question of the day, and this is what he claimed. And this was making the rounds on the internet. He's trolling, right? Either this is a case of we're just old and these kids don't know, because there's some OG coaches, you don't know where they went, where they played in the NFL. I don't know about you, but anytime I'm going to work for someone or whatever, I try to get as much background as possible. Maybe Lassiter just didn't really do that. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I got to believe that at some point, him and D'Amico, there had to have been some sort of Georgia, Alabama banner. I feel like he's kind of playing around here.
Yeah.
I ain't know that. But
yeah, he's kidding, right? He's kidding, right? Put it in the comments. Do you think he's serious? Because there are some media types, I think, that kind of believed him. I think he's kidding.
No, those two programs, very high profile programs, got a lot of the same, a lot of similarities. And what was the question? I'm sorry.
The standard that Kirby set for you guys, similar to standard set at Alabama based off NECTA, or just those type of programs in the SEC?
Oh yeah, of course. The standard that was set at Georgia is super high. It don't matter, how old you are. It don't matter how many years you play. The standard is the standard, and it's always going to be that. Coach Smart does a really good job of just making sure that everyone buys in, and I think that Coach Ryan does a great job of doing that as well. That probably comes from his background of being at the other place. So
yeah. He's trolling.
Coming in together in this draft class, you're going to spend time together. You're on the field together in a very small group. Is it natural that you guys are going to get close, and how close are you even now?
Of course. So me and CB, we kind of met. I think it was last summer. We were down in Miami. We was just having a little bit of off time, and we kind of met. We didn't really know each other at first, and I just knew he went to USC. I went to Georgia. I knew he was good at football. I was good, but we kind of just chopped it up a little bit, and then fast forward all the way to draft night, and we both get drafted to the same team, and that just kind of played over into here. And so we just been kind of getting a little bit closer, and I feel like we're gonna end up being real close by the time it's all said and done.
How much is the situation similar to what you had in Georgia coming in? could play the game, but you felt like you had to prove yourself coming in there. How much of that falls in line with this?
I feel like, I just always want to prove myself right. I never, sought out to prove anyone wrong. I just always thought that, I could always be here. I always thought that I could play at the highest level in college. And my family always believed that. So it's just always about, just proving ourselves right. So everything that I do is just, to really just kind of just prove myself right, just to make sure that, like, I know that I'm here for a reason.
Everyone talks about the wide receiver that they want to face off against in the NFL, but there's some pretty good wide receivers that you're going to be going up against in practice. So which Texans wide receiver are you most excited to be going up against in drills?
Man, I'm excited to, see all the guys. We got a really talented group of guys, and I'm just excited, just to, just go out there and compete with all of them. It's not really one guy that I can just, set out to the side because they're all so, elite and talented.
Has there been one moment in this short time that you've gone like, wow? Has there been a wow moment for you in any of the process from the short time you've been here?
I had a wow moment today, actually. It was just like I just kind of had a second just to kind of take it all in. I was getting some water, and I was like, dang, like I'm really playing for the Houston Texans. This is my dream. I'm getting to play football, at the highest level, and it's a great feeling.
All set?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. It's easy to see why they like Kamari Lassiter. I think he knew that Nick Saban went to Bama. I think a lot of the gullible folks believe that. That's a joke. That comes up. That's one of the first like small talk things you bring up, right? Is, hey, did you some Georgia Bama joke? You've been around Alabama people. They can't not mention that they went to Alabama every 5 seconds, especially when it's like a Georgia. So he knows. Where does he fit? That's the biggest question. Is he inside? Is he outside? Is there really a scenario where the Texans look bad if he fits in either scenario? I do think, and it is the locker room. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Appreciate you for coming through. I'm really enjoying hearing these rookies. Tomorrow, there's a rookie that spoke in a pick that has grown on me a lot to where I'm starting to, I don't want to use the word love because it's early in the process, but I really like this pick. And when I saw the young man go up to the podium, I was very impressed with him. So that'll be the video that drops tomorrow. And again, I don't think this was an immediate for need type of draft, although I do think corner was a big need. But the misleading part of the dialogue when it comes to Lassiter, at least for me, has been like the conversation about, well, is he going to play inside and is he going to play outside? And there's almost seems to be a thought process. And I'm not saying that this isn't something that, as you're discussing the pick, you don't find yourself being thrown into that type of dialogue. And by you, I mean me. There's almost like a thought that if he doesn't play outside and he's just really good at nickel and on the inside, and that's his strength, that's like some sort of indictment on the pick. And I couldn't disagree more with that, because if Kamari Lassiter establishes himself as an extremely good nickel corner and he's a guy that you feel comfortable as one of your top 3 corners, he's making plays on the inside, and he's a guy that you trust to perhaps line up outside if he's called upon. I don't think that's an indictment on the pick. I think that's still a good second round pick, especially in the NFL, where, I mean, most teams are trying to go 5 deep at wide receiver. We see 3 wide receiver sets more times than we don't. We see 4 wide receiver sets. So the dialogue is almost, well, if this guy can't be a number 2 corner, then the pick doesn't make sense. I don't think that's true. Whether he's a guy who can be your number 2 guy and line up outside, whether he's one of the guys that pushes Okudah or Henderson for that number 2 spot, or whether he's a guy who's better than Des King and a guy you trust inside or develops into that, I think either way, that would be a good pick. It's a tough position to pick. It's a tough position to evaluate draft picks. I don't know that too many people were pushing for Lassiter before the draft, but no, even the best GMs are going to miss almost as much as they hit. Now, the Texans do seem to have a culture that will be able to overcome poor drafting and poor draft picks. That's why when Kenyon Green was out, they were able to bring in some random guys and at least hold it down last year. So that's the good thing that they have. He does seem to, just based on the early interactions with the media and the early observations of how he speaks, he does seem to be a guy that fits into what they like. And it'll be interesting to see what he looks like on the field. But I love this stuff, man. I like seeing how guys look, even when they're running against air. I like seeing how they interact. And I like seeing this whole process. It's a really fun process. It's going to intensify this week as the schedule gets released. Live stream back. I'm back from Hawaii. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. How do you think Lassiter fits? Do you think that he knew that Nick Saban was the coach at Alabama? Appreciate you for coming through. This has been another edition of the Locker Room in the Loop on YouTube right here and Twitch at 10 a.m., 10 to 2 Central. And always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, Locker Room. Yeah, we in the Locker Room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too.